Adena to any bre. TikTok Camel Nash, Ebuofu, or on TSS, Adentina arrest warrant, Eda Kevin Taylor, so I say, Waba was a chin tumwa, Mahama Henya Mianimo, Afa Kuntina say, what the judges be a co-nimu, Abu Wako Trouble Kevin Taylor, and Melenash Ebuofu. What the snap Abubodia, Wabekanche, Melenash Abekanche, Egu Mahama, any Kevin Taylor so. And Yasim Kuma Adeno, at 20 bre, a high Penyah broke media. Best I say any demo. Over like a video, no doubt my boss subscribe button and snap back the cable notification icon for latest updates. Now better watch on their mammy ever comment section. Best Russell Baswa. No watch video from any be ashe. Any Melenash or you'll be an only Kevin Taylor echo beef back to back. Just a Melenash as so as Kevin Taylor so every minute something on that quality Unyana. Or not a crop body minimum or bet me anything atino. But best echo beef was so as Kevin Taylor so on TikTok. Then your market Kevin Taylor in your home. Then the Kevin Taylor a restaurant Edan so. And you find someone or can find judges in 2019 and 2020. And because of that, 16 January 2020, Justice Eric Cheba for Ed arrest warrant. Justice Eric Cheba for our Court of Appeal. A court kitwell. And judge kitwell the arrest warrant came to us. A senior judge. A general about the came to Supreme Court. Emma judges are court in case to Swaba. Emma then a choir for against one. Came to the judges. To Swaba almost 1 year 4. And I say, came to the case in your tremor. The bus your tremor. I don't say I TikTok on transfer there. TikTok Camel Nash. A wolf pa the wolf pa couldn't say came to your grip on the denka. Ye be meaunia, but you know when I'm just only say judges in a moon cano crack. Munina muti chroma and Matimida came to the D moon cano crack. Munina moon cano crack. Mahama son cano crack. Several says, I never see any. On for now, some Emenya made there be. Whatever nananom, it is because you are fashion up. Abe kanche egu Mahama tiriso. Enye easy.
Mahama kwasi yampeni. Once wama ujimi no, ade dia ma wiase nyina hu. Once umu ka na wo ye no, wama wiase nyina hu se wo ye jimifo. Wati president wey ana Ghana fo se wo mo pe. Ha? Be ma wanyini guran na adwene na da. Aso dementia asiafo wasiama mu se de se nkola kura betimi abubio sebi ayi kura so wonfaso che wo bam okatachie onim nyansa ekura che Mahama bam asiafo edo Kevin Taylor court ese nensem no ayi we no warrant no ayi nyina so bi anim nti no yabo atu agu se mu botugu a mo nyayi obene nam Ghana ho amyahwe na BBC a eye mo se judges no nka mo ni manka mo de ni kosie ye mo ma ne kode mu se de Mahama ta kwasi atelechi emani di ntwantonso ni atembibie eba pawenti asase ya wo ye batan onsuso nkwasi asem so o my Ghana asase ehye bonsa obatampa a mo bai se mo be ma asase aye ati asefo nyina ede na watena so asundue nipa bonifo timodinfo te se Mahama ye de nasi oman Ghana so ndi oman Ghana nanimu a wo kire ne ma boni na odi nkontompo eni atemdidie abetena egwa na ewo oman Ghana so no asase muninini kwasi atela no nsusu a opese obetena oman nim na ye man adwuma wo oman nim nti odi nkwasi asem atemdidie mpanifo atemdidie ntwanto so ato won so no nananom muninini so otena asase so ana onanti asase so de wo oman Ghana ne de wo amanoni no onanti so a munyine na ase atwede me de Kevin Taylor krasha monsa muninini se de nyuma sitie Mahama krasha monsa muninini se de nyuma sitie na mumma oman Ghana emfa ne ntoma pa emfira medam ase nananom.
Now TikTok one interesting but music eke come out in Mahama.
It was for just a quick one. The person because of our courts judges are 4 out of 5 omuruli esquashe bench warrant eda Kevin Taylor so aye nyina enim e wo Ghana. Na de di kan say the bench warrant to so a eno nche say wedi for. Say the bench warrant to so a kire say court hiawo say obeba na obeyi wano e won semfo bi hu anase bibi omodwen say bia na you are involving. Say the bench warrant to so a emramu no e wo say court na okutimi mutimi tutu wano na wotimi eyi wano wo And no, if you are guilty, then all the process, no, all these things will come out. If you are not guilty, so and should be out. But the idea kind say the bench warrant to also. Now say one court and I say who disrespect court. Now say you ignore. And no cry emramuno. I was here the chill. And I see a chill on swa. Emramuno. The court can decide not to give you a bail. Because one funny dear ama court the time they needed you into the winning say be an oman or mujawa, ebiana umba and I say, wait me be a tosso, the same thing as tosso. Into no crown, it's against the law. But let's go on, let's talk about this. And there was a rumor, say Kevin Taylor, Abagana, some time back. Court, and you know, I'll buy our coil. Okay, now this time around, he's in Ghana. Now, judges are, what's say? Now, can't say, as summer, yeah, bench runs idea to no, we are squashing, no. You ask yourself to say, now, so on my Ghana, no, do some people have the power to the extent they say they are above the law now? I am asking this because it is undermining the rule of law in Ghana. Your constitution, your judiciary system, your rule of law, and yama ye boy mumbai also mine, especially emramuno, na se nkofo kubi anase nipa dombi anase nipa krobi, it want to me to be tell with me I say no, I'm not going to obey what emrane can. Then our democracy it's at stake. And our mind Ghana nobody is safe there. Because if that is not the issue, why should a person bench warrant done so wabagana several times or manchino or man yenishe wabako. Now this time now Bana he want to present himself court and they say ya squashy bench warrant done so without even giving the opportunity for the person to come to go through the due process to make sure say someone will say find no cry na say no cry. If this is going on in our country, Ghana now, then we citizens, we have a lot to answer. As a government, I also pursue resetting. As a government, I also pursue the judiciary system. No, people don't have trust in the judiciary system. So Ghanaians are looking up to you. So, okay, wow, you are going to set a precedence. I bet you say Ghana way, back ancient judiciary system. No, if under your governance, judges now are saying, say, almost squashy, and as more cancel bench warrant that will be so without hearing then there is something that you guys need to explain to Ghanaians. This undermine our democracy, this undermine our rule of law, the legitimacy of the judiciary is at stake, and it gives impunity. So, some people are untouchable in the country, they can do whatever they want and nothing would happen. Say the way Ebu Omanya, how can the nation go on? How can the nation go on if this is how we are going to lead the way our judiciary system should be? Judiciary should be something I say, and no I'm ranting, you put it in very strong, it's in kutayemu. Obianti undermine it. But if this is what Ghana says, CIA system, then you have a problem as of mine. It is a shame to your government. It is a shame to our democracy. It is a shame to the judiciary system. Say, judges, the bench warrant that individual so without a hearing. Are you telling us, say, the other previous judges, no, as one kind of be anyone now? The only way you could have done that is voluntarily or not kasaba. You've gone through the process and we say, okay, as someone will kind, and no cray, and I say mistaken identity, and I say, and you say they are supposed to impose that, kind of saying that subpoena on him. Then you can stand and say, okay, now in that issue, we are going to squash it. But you haven't gone through the process of facing the courts for him to come and defend whatever he was saying, but rather, you have squashed the kind of saying the warranted done so for him to appear. Ghana and Yama is getting out of hands. And the earlier we stand up as citizens and criticize and condemn these things, say if we don't come together, regardless of your political affiliation, if we don't come together and say no, this is not the rule of law. Not say togetherness, no, because of the sake of Ghana, and time will come, no, Ghana will not be a place to govern. Kakra mekano no. I mean, sure be
ya before yanka Kevitela and Tokwa. What mianya kukudro say ye humbon in Kayani de Omudia channel, by media, Manfan channel. Ye nipa say ni humbon. Why ya Ghana for, ya Fanti for, ya Pepe for, Obia, or Timi Catcher say nipa who can. But where the Ghana and bon, nipa and bon, ni boss now, why Gina Dino. Chanyan coupon. Na yan kanu ki se odoni boss no. Onu na akuma Ghana. Onu na ahwe ni moja agu akuma Ghana. Intinu Kevin Taylor se odono. Ojina onu nsu se woni sa ni boss no mo anya adwea. Kevin Taylor be ye o. No aka kire ni pase ni hubon ba be adi kankan free no ho. Ni boss na wagini edi. Enye nyankopon wanji nyankopon adi wuji ni board di che nyankopon kro oma ye frama oma ye duane oma ye wia nti otimi yaye wonim bibi adi kronti Kevin Taylor timi ka kire ni pase ni hubon kan no ye nkwasi afo no ni boss no ni papa baby ofri ye no de wade wan kwa na mudi nti ni papa di de wade wan kwa no wan huguru ni sa na ni maami nso wie de wade wan nti ni maami twebo kan ni boss no more than bibia nyami sese man ka we ya kire Kevin Taylor heavy minya bida oye why nani boss no hu ni bati na hu ni babati no fo be ka se kokonte ya ka go balu mu ye udien when ye dani development ye development ana why ye pa akoye widie mu abuaba janaiba hey Ghana kokromotintin o hey Kevin Taylor se penyi bi beka se Kevin Taylor yaye yesu ya no inti constitution ni wo baby say only Kevin Taylor is allowed to insult Ghana now aprada inflama edam ekom bolasu adi kankan ewo and find the family nyina ubetimi aye hwan ya sama wo ya ni sika edi be kokot ba ya sama wa ama bola ya sama wa ama janai ya sama wa ama pete ya sama wa ama preku ade ye fu se na onim se obi bon kankan u life mu u ba u family nyina omu bibia empro na mbon u boss na wa allow se ka kire Ghanaian se ye hu bon gono eja shi wo kumasi no u si ye hu no gono mpa ni life mu da ni hu bon sa ni yiri hu bon sa u su yiri hu bon sa ye kan kire ni pa se obon abuaba kokoromoti na ye funtira.
You know, something happened today that has got me thinking a lot about the country Ghana, the country we have now. Now, let's put politics aside for 1 minute and look at a country where we are supposed to have something called the rule of law. What's the rule of law? Rule of law means that nobody's above the law. So everybody subscribe to the law of the land. So nobody is above the law. Then something happens today that everybody thinks is a joke, but it has rocked the foundation of what Ghana is. The NDC was founded on probity and accountability. And there's videos of Jerry John when we were a case talking about probity and accountability, and to a larger extent, justice, the rule of law, which he came and said that, look, everybody should be subjected to justice. So let me recount what I'm talking about. And this is about what happened today in the Supreme Court with Kevin Taylor. Kevin Taylor was in Ghana, or is in Ghana, should I say. And he went to court, to the Supreme Court, to go and squash an arrest warrant that was issued by a court of competent jurisdiction. So let's backtrack a minute. A judge sat and issued contempt. Kevin Taylor sat outside the country, insulted this judge. And bear in mind, this is somebody who has insulted every high personality in Ghana, from our king in Ashanti region, Otumfuo, to Ochehene, to almost most personalities in this country. Now, a court of competent jurisdiction sat by a judge, issued a bench warrant for his arrest. So there was a warrant for Kevin Taylor's arrest. And we have 3 institutions in this country that are supposed to enforce when a court issues a warrant. In interior, you have the police, and to a larger extent, national security. Then you now have the court itself that will have certain bailiffs or the court police. Now, Kevin Taylor comes into Ghana. The police did not arrest him. National security, in fact, escorted him from the police, from what we are told, took him through a VVIP passage and gave him a safe passage to where he is staying. For somebody that has a warrant for his arrest, came to court today like a free man, because he was not arrested. He didn't come with the police. He came on his own. Now, he came to court to challenge or to basically get the Supreme Court to squash the arrest warrants. Guess what happens? The Attorney General did not show up at the Supreme Court. So the institutions that are supposed to safeguard our liberties, the institutions that are supposed to basically safeguard our institutions, basically gave the man a free pass. The police, the national security looked away. They didn't arrest him. They actually escorted him out of the airport. The Attorney General, who is a custodian of the land, turned a blind eye and did not show up in court to basically challenge. Now, if somebody wants to do something, at least let's keep the foundation of the country we have intact. What was wrong with when he came into Ghana, submitting himself to the arrest, which there is a warrant for his arrest? Then go to court and appeal or ask the Supreme Court to squash it. And from what happened today, it looked like, he was going to get it squashed anyway. So what was wrong with the Attorney General showing up, the police doing their work, or national security doing its work? So we live in a country where today one person has basically made nonsense of our rule of law. Nonsense of it. Because a court issued an arrest warrant, right? And that person walked free. No security agency took any heed of the arrest warrant that was after him. He went to court, to the Supreme Court, the highest court of this land. The Attorney General did not show up. My question is, why did the Attorney General not show up to the Supreme Court today? Look, we only have one Ghana. We only have one Ghana. We can play all the politics and all the tricks, but today is a very sad day for Ghana, where we've made one person who have again insulted. Look, every personality, even this video I'm doing, I'm sure if he sees it and he goes back to America, he will sit under his program and basically take me to the cleaners, right? But this is a person that has now made nonsense of our rule of law. Let it sink in. One person. Why? What is so special, or what does Kevin Taylor have on the NDC? Why has the NDC decided to break our institutions just for one person? Then these same people will go to Penyah, go to Ochehene Palace, and say that what? They respect the institution of chieftaincy, they respect the institution of Penyah. I don't think they do. Because all those judges who sat in court today and know Kevin Taylor and know the things Kevin Taylor has done to high personalities of this country, and you guys sat there and didn't even rebuke him, sad day. Very sad.
Chirajo mama ewo comment section. Hi Penyah Block Media. Accra.